This is great news. This is really great news. Amos Yee arrested for child porn. This is great. Amos Yee has been on several different platforms where he defended child rapists and pedophiles, claiming that the relationship between a grown man and grown woman and that of an underage child is a legitimate relationship. This is a great day. 20-year-old Singaporean YouTuber Amos Yee, who was granted asylum in the United States, what a big mistake that was, has been brought to Layton Criminal Courthouse in Chicago on Friday, 16 October, for solicitation and possession of child porn. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, CST, Yee allegedly exchanged nude photos and thousands of messages with a 14-year-old Texas girl who was living in Chicago. According to Cook County prosecutors, the blogger and YouTuber has been living in Chicago for about 3 years. Yee then generated controversy in the U.S. when he began posting his now removed YouTube channel and Twitter advocating for pedophiles, and was subsequently banned or blocked from using these two social media platforms. His Facebook account has also been removed as a result of his activities. Prosecutors said Yee also ran a pro-pedophile forum on a message board, which the service provider also took the action by shutting down the server. It almost seems like everything that Amos Yee did was wrong, and he was completely okay. As well as the accounts, everyone involved in it. Yee addressed rumors of inappropriate relationship with a young girl, in which Yee argued that even if he had sexually abused a 14-year-old girl, it does not change that there is nothing immoral about pedophilia. Okay. Yes, pedophilia is 100% immoral. It is unjustified. It is sexual assault. It's statutory rape. If you deny these things, you have a few things missing from your head. Yee's assistant public defender presented the defense as Yee being described as an internet troll who is all over the internet saying fantastic things, and that any comments Yee made online should be taken with skepticism. No, they should be taken with a grain of salt, not skepticism. What he said was very serious. It's not a joke. However, prosecutors say they obtained messages Yee exchanged between April and July last year that included new photos he requested and received from the girl and new photos of himself that he sent to the minor. CST reported that the prosecutor said the girl repeatedly brought up her age in the messages and in other messages. Yee instructed the teenager to remove her age from the profile on WhatsApp, the messaging service they use to communicate. Seems like Yee is manipulating. This is probably another thing that's wrong with pedophiles. They have to manipulate the eye of their affection, if you will. It was said that the girl reached out to a group interested in exposing pedophiles when their relationship eventually soured and the Homeland Security officials were notified. This is some serious shit. It's also worth mentioning that Yee spent some time in the Singaporean jail for destruction of the Bible and the Quran. Maybe more of the Quran because Islam's a thing down there. I'm not sure if Christianity is, but he destroyed the Bible and the Quran, or at least, the very least, criticized it. CST reported that Yee made several attempts to defend himself, claiming he had information he could provide about his case. He was told by his assistant public defender to keep his mouth shut. I wonder why. Judge John F. Light Jr. reportedly said that the charges were significantly more than an online troll who is trying to get a rise out of someone. Yee was held on U.S. $1 million bail and banned from using the internet while he awaits trial. He is expected to return to court on November 5th. If convicted, Yee's asylum status could be terminated. Melissa Chen, a U.S. human rights activist who had denounced Yi's actions back in 2018, shared that the case was brought to the Homeland Security after an anonymous tip was made to her on Twitter and that she had been assisting on the matter for a year. She asked that anyone else who is a victim to reach out, and we're going to Yi's background. For those who have forgotten who Yi is, he was a 16-year-old teenager who got into trouble in 2015 after making a video about late Lee Kuan Yew after his passing. 8 police officers turned up at his home to arrest him in cuffs after more than 20 police officers were filed against him. Well, some were in response to Yi's passing remarks in Christianity, but majority of the reports centered around him disparaging the revered political leader. Like I said, some of the reasons why the police were after him to begin with was about his disparaging remarks on theism, or Christianity, which is a thing in most of the world. And when you make disparaging comments about Christianity, it tends to irk some Christians. Yi was detained in police custody and eventually found guilty of the charge of obscenity for having uploaded a picture of the late Singapore Prime Minister in a sexual depiction with the British former Prime Minister, the late Margaret Thatcher, and a charge of wounding the feelings of Christians for remarks he made in the video of Mr. Lee and the Christian religious icon Jesus Christ, in which he had uploaded onto YouTube. Sometimes you should probably decide whether or not things should go on YouTube or not. He was released on the spot in May 2015 after his sentence was read, as he had already been detained past the sentence term by the judge. Yi subsequently got into trouble again for his blog and video posts in 2017, where he was sentenced to 6 weeks of jail after he pleaded guilty to 6 charges of wounding the religious feelings of Muslims and Christians. After being detained in December 2016 by U.S. officials for declaring himself as a visitor to the country despite applying for political asylum in the U.S., a Chicago immigration judge concluded in March 2017 that the Singapore government persecuted Yi on account of his political opinion and that Yi is deserving of asylum as a matter of discretion. Although the U.S. Department of Homeland Security filed an appeal against the decision to grant Yi asylum, the court appealed to upheld the decision in regards to blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's it. This guy's a piece of shit.